What is up, everybody, and welcome back. If you guys can't tell from the time of this video, when you clicked on it, you guys will see that this is not just the biggest Pro League tips video that I've ever done. It's probably one of the best and one of my favorites. I don't know what got into me. I started watching all the games from last week and I was like, dude, you know what? I'm just gonna make a massive video where everybody can just come in, chill for a little bit. If they gotta take off, that's cool. I'm gonna leave timestamps down below so you guys can just jump back in whenever you guys have time. I also want to say a huge thank you. A few of our recent videos have gotten like up to 14,000 likes. You guys are absolutely insane and literally the best subscribers in the world. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate each and every single one of you. So I hope you guys enjoy and learn lots from this video. I'm not gonna say that all of these are like brand new to everybody. Each person is on their own different personal level as far as their overall knowledge with the game and different tricks you guys learned, but I'm sure that there will be a bunch of cool things that you guys haven't seen yet, and I hope that this will help you guys all improve your game. Now let's jump right into the first trick.
Though, who knows, evil geniuses may surprise us. Noble, though, clearly, after banning Hibana, using Thermite as their main hard destructor, they're going to rely on that quite a lot. Now, I hope, for Noble's sake, that they've practiced with a lack of Hibana on a map like Clubhouse, and they know what they're trying to do here.
Side of Garage. There's a rotate hole there available for Canadian if he needs it. Crazy will join Yeti now as well, and it doesn't look like there's really much droning going on. It just looks like Breezy is doing solo drone work here inside of Cache.
I want to say we just saw pre-play C4 not actually work out for evil geniuses, detonated a little bit too early.
Alright, now starting this off with our first one, this is kind of like three different things all wrapped up into trick number one. So this first one is going to be a couple different variations of how you can use this Valkyrie camera on top of the stage within the speakers. There's a couple different variations that you can do. All of them are very good. It's kind of just personal preference as far as which vision you would like. I like this one, the one that they used in the pro scene the most. I feel like the light from the camera is very well hidden behind the black pipes, but overall, no matter where you throw this camera, as long as it's up next to or behind the speakers, it is very well hidden because it is so dark in this corner. Now, as far as the second camera, this one's kind of a C4 bait plus camera combo. Now, before Clubhouse got the rework, entering from this balcony really wasn't that common. But now, anytime you play Clubhouse, there's a very high percentage chance that the attackers will actually break open this wall, obviously, especially when you're defending Cache. But even for other sites too, a lot of attackers will enter from this balcony, and from here you can use the C4, and as soon as they step anywhere near it, you can absolutely take them out. In fact, you'll take them out so early in the round that we will have time for me to tell you about the amazing sponsor that enabled me to bring out this massive Pro League Tips video. Global Test Market is a service that allows you to earn cash that you can trade in for everyone's favorite R6 credits by taking surveys online. All you need to start earning is your email address, which I'm assuming you have one, as well as some basic information, and then you're invited to click the link at the top of the description to sign up and check it out like I have to start taking surveys online and earning the rewards that will help you. Special thanks to Global Test Market for making this service that helps the Rainbow Six Siege community get the rewards that they want. Thanks, Global Test Market. And look, he's still here waiting to spawn up for the next round, so let's go ahead and jump right into our next trick.
Out-dueled with the ACOG from Ash's R4C. It just ended up being a situation where Canadian couldn't land.
Now, our second spot is going to be a really cool Evil Eye where you're going to have great coverage of the Arsenal room as well as protecting the west wall that goes into the church. Now, from here, you're not going to be able to shoot all the way into the doorway with the Evil Eye, but the main point of it is to be able to take out Hibana charges, Thermite charges, or just get overall views of anybody going down the hallway. You're going to be able to share a ton of information as well as helping to keep all of those important walls reinforced.
So, you've got the buck here from the grenades, or from Noble, but you don't have Thatcher to clear out the ADSs, which means you're going to need to use Zofia lifelines. You're going to need to use Ash flashbangs. You're going to use anything you can really to clear out those ADSs.
Excellent read from Noble and great usage of the Lion to take care of the Bandit. Necrox will return fire and using the shotgun through the corpse of his teammate will manage to net a kill for EG.
There are a ton of different things and areas that you can open up while defending in the new cash room CCTV. In this one trick, we're going to look at 3 really important ones. This first one is going to be over the wall, where obviously you can get nitro cells, impact grenades, smokes, whatever you want. You can also stand on top of the bomb and shoot over that into the spawn if that outside west wall is not reinforced. Now the second hole is going to be watching the entrance into the stock room, and this one's great. It's going to be very unsuspecting, and this third hole is going to be a way that you can actually counter the trick number 4 that I will be sharing with you guys, like you saw in the previous clip of him getting a kill through his teammate's body. So keep in mind, of course, it does work both ways.
Breezy looking to thermite the wall. He will actually lose a decent chunk of HP, but Breezy unable to land the shot. You can see from below, Crazy gonna Ash charge those bandit batteries, allowing for the thermite charge to detonate. It's a great job there, not relying on the grenades as it seems, instead just trying to take from below. That is an undervalued, I think, part of this site for any attack, and props to Noble for reading the opportunity there and seizing it.
In that last clip, we saw Crazy go below this west wall inside of the CCTV and take out the bandit charges so that his teammate Thermite can open it up. Now this can be done with literally any operator. You can even just shoot up it if you want. Of course, it is easier with some sort of projectile. If you guys shoot all the way on the right, that is part of the balcony. The bottom floor sticks out wider than the top floor, so you're gonna have to follow the ridges and figure out where to shoot it exactly like I show you guys here. But if you guys have a murder hole inside of the floor here, like you guys saw from the previous tip, this is a way that you can counter it, because then you can watch the garage doorway and take out anybody that might be doing this. So it's all about that little chess game where you stack different tricks on top of each other and you're already countering moves that haven't happened yet.
Was also playing, I believe, the Maestro in garage later in that round. He rotated in and was able to shut down the server wall in the end. So I don't know. A solid defense from EG and just an interesting rotation from Noble will cost them.
Now I'm trying to keep the majority of these tricks just around 30 seconds. Some of them are a little bit difficult though, and I like to pack in a little bit more detail, because some of these, like you saw a couple tricks ago, I'm packing in like 3 or 4 different things within just one number of a trick. But this one here, I noticed that they have 2 reinforcements in between the bomb sites, which is pretty rare, so it's cool, but they also have 2 rotations. Now when you add in this evil eye on top of that, you have not just a very high evil eye that can't be sledgehammered, it's very difficult to see from the outside. And if anybody jumps in and tries to plant like behind that weight room, it's literally complete coverage no matter where they are. The 2 middle walls also help you get a crossfire without getting taken out from the weight room window.
To counter something that we know that EG is particularly susceptible to. Also, for just a second there, we saw Canadian prone inside of office, looking at the hatch open above him, possibly waiting to see if somebody will drop, as Vigil with his gadget on makes it difficult for his position to be spotted.
Alright, so if you go back and look at the clips of where Canadian was aiming, you might wonder, why is he looking towards the north? There's not a solid roof surface in order to stand on that direction. What a lot of people don't realize is that you can actually stand on part of this vent and get an angle from the north and looking south. From here, you can see that wall in between the little office and in between the new connector room between cash room and the bedroom. You can even open that up if you have Ash, and this creates a crossfire into the rotation hole that a lot of people are not aware of that's even an angle. You can also do kind of like a parkour drop down if you don't want to just run back onto the rooftop if somebody's holding an angle on it. So this is a cool angle. A lot of people don't know about it. Just be careful while you use it, and I'm sure you'll pick off a lot of unsuspecting people from this one.
Foolhardy, anticipating that the shield might drop, NVK pushed up, so Noble will know that at least 2 members of EG's roam squad were up top, both of whom have now headed back towards the main stairs.
Yet again, a good read from Evil Geniuses, recognizing they don't need to fight their opponents upstairs and can just wait out the time. Canadian playing by the bathroom, very dangerous spot to play, and the C4 has been called out thanks to some great drone work from Noble.
Now, I thought this was a pretty funny play, and I can definitely picture myself in situations where this would have worked. What they were doing was they delayed as much time as they could upstairs, and then they kind of make like they're running away, getting the Montaigne to chase them. Then they're marking on the top of the staircase where the Montaigne's path would be, and once they stepped over it, they could completely detonate the C4. So it's kind of like a runaway, forcing them to chase you C4 bait. I can definitely think of times when I've been getting chased by Montaigne or a blitz, and this would have definitely worked.
Again, they still have the Buck in play, of course. Yeti, the most powerful operator in this round for the attack. He needs to be maintained, safeguarded, as much as your Lion would be.
Now right here is a really cool angle that creates, again, one of those really rare ones where you will be able to see them holding this spot before the enemy team that you're shooting at will be able to see you. And that's partially because of the little lip that you guys will see in the doorway and because of the elevation difference. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to see their feet all the way up to like their belly button chest area before they even get a visual on you. You guys can see that these bullet holes go all the way to the doorway, and from me standing right here, you won't be able to see the person that is shooting it. You can straight up open up the hatch, or don't forget, you can also kind of chip away at it and make it that much harder to see.
Wise enough to pop their head up and swiftly have it removed, but for the time being, just an immense amount of patience. You can see the silhouette of Crazy as the Jaeger plays down in blue. Boone, but it's going to find EG at a numbers disadvantage.
Here comes the push setup.
So this right here is an angle that people were discovering as soon as the new reworked Clubhouse came out. But what a lot of people don't use this angle for is taking out bandit charges, mute charges, or even flashing people that always hide behind the little bar cabinet or also in the corner behind the boxes. I'm gonna shoot a Zofia impact grenade all the way from safety on the back of the stairs, and you guys can see here this lands perfectly in order to take out a mute or bandit. Of course, if they do have a maestro spot in the trick that we learned earlier, then that's going to be a whole nother story. So you guys can see starting to stack on a bunch of different tricks revolving all around this one area. It's definitely a tricky, complicated game, but this is one more thing that you can add on. But do keep in mind that this is an angle that you can easily get bullet shots back and forth from, so don't get your head taken off while you do this.
As we did see him banned earlier today when we saw Villa, Mouse versus Obey.
I don't think you get that one back, Chala.
Big whoops.
That's a big whoops.
Still going to be useful cam, though, until it possibly gets shot.
I mean, if it gets spotted. It might not get spotted, but I mean, more importantly, it might not get the coverage that he wants or needs.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. When you place a camera, sometimes the angles can be a little bit weird. It's important to remember that the actual camera on the model of the camera, like where your view is like very much in front of the actual evil eye. It's not in the camera. So the positioning can be a little bit odd, but I don't think where hit landed is going to hurt their visual, given that I think he was trying to get it actually inside, a little bit higher up and with more cover around it.
Well, I mean, it does stick out a little bit more. I think that's that's the big thing there. So
now we're going to be taking a look at an entire Valkyrie setup, and even though the first cam may have been a mistake, I'll show you guys exactly what they were going for. You guys can see that the camera is safely tucked away within the support beams on the ceiling. From here, very difficult. Also blends in perfectly with the colors and the shadows on the beams. The second one is going to be a similar one, just enough to cover red stairs for anybody coming up behind us, so two different sides of the objective. And then the third one was downstairs, and you guys of course can always mix these up, use any combination you want if you're defending downstairs. This one down here in the planter is great. There's so many different variations. Keep in mind that the camera does go through the leaves, so you can kind of manipulate the camera a little bit, make it get the exact angle that you want to when you turn around. The favorite one that I was doing was just straight up putting it in the base, because from there the leaves are protecting it a lot, but the camera is kind of breaching through them, so while you're on the camera you can still see it even though you're kind of tucked away in the leaves.
Spacestation. Now they're going to go over to Trophy, the typical secondary site for this map.
I'm interested to see how this map shakes out. I like Villa. I've got a soft spot for it. I think.
Now this is something that I admit I haven't been doing enough of when I'm defending on this bomb site. If you guys open up this astronomy wall, you guys will be able to look down the hallway as well as watch people rotating around downstairs. This is again creating one of those rare angles like we saw on the hatch on Clubhouse, where you guys will be able to see anybody on red carpet's feet all the way up to about their chest before they are able to see you. From here, this also opens up a bunch of different lines of sights in between the bomb sites that you guys can start using in order to get some nasty crossfires on anybody approaching the objectives.
Have him come with shuttle in through the side entrance window into Memorial. I don't know why. Either way, it left Slash a little bit far field, unable to help his teammates, and you know.
So these are two important murder holes that you guys can start doing no matter what bomb site yet again. Now these two are very strong. One of them you'll be able to see the staircase as well as part of the entire main lobby area. The second one you're watching the actual entrance that a lot of people will go through when they spawn on the ruins. A lot of people will just run straight forward, rappel up and enter, or if they go left, that's where this main doorway that you guys will be overwatching lies. This is going to make it extremely dangerous for anybody approaching. A lot of people run up to this doorway, melee it, and just kind of hold an angle looking into one of the rooms. From here, you will actually be able to see them and pick off a very, very early kill.
Here inside a bicycle storage just over by the window positioned in the room.
Slash has been doing a lot of that. This is a good position to hold. He has cut off one of those important rotations in that little vault that's next to the library.
SS.
So generally when you're defending inside of the living room, you're gonna have a rotation hole that is actually very, very easy to cut off when you guys go upstairs inside of the hunting room. Now this wall overlooking the living room is also very common for Mira placements, and by going upstairs in the location you guys saw next to the billiards room, you guys will be able to cut off rotations and pick off some nasty kills yet again. Villa is one of the most destructible maps, so this is definitely an angle to take advantage of.
I like the way that Spacestation are opening up the floor right in front of the walls in study. The reason they're doing that, of course, is to prevent thermite charges from being placed on the floor, which can can get you around the impact trick. It's the only way to do it with thermite, but you know, most teams are bringing Hibana these days because of that impact tricking, especially on walls like that.
Now big thanks to Alan from the Dangleberries for helping me get and explain this clip. You guys all know the impact trick by now that counters thermite. Now one way if you're an attacker to counter the thermite trick counter or Hibana trick counter is by placing a thermite breach on the floor. By doing this, you can take out the bottom of the reinforcement, and this is a series that I covered a bunch of different tricks with. I'll link one of my favorite ones down below if you guys want to see more thermite trick locations where you guys can do this. There's actually even some spots that you can crawl on through even if there's bandits or mutes blocking the wall. Now what we saw in the Pro League game was the defenders breaking the floor, so that forces you to have to place it on top of the wall, and when they do that they can block it by bandits, mutes, or if they have a Thatcher then they can use the impact trick. So this is like a counter on top of a counter on top of another counter, thinking 4 moves ahead all yet again.
I feel, and it's good to see them be able to get past that.
Obviously going to be well practiced, as that is the, I think one of the SK, and they still have to get past a mirror window and all of the anti-plant utility that C9 still has. The drop from Hot and will get a kill onto Goddess, which is 1C4 off the board, but Retro will get the refrag.
Alright, so this is the basic mirror setup. Everybody knows, everybody uses it when they defend downstairs on bank. Now what we're going to be doing is adding in a second Mira on the right side of lockers but on the left wall on the right side, if that makes sense. Then we're going to be blowing out floor holes from the lockers all the way to CCTV. Now you guys can see from this angle, I can see the doorway in CCTV and I can see when people enter. But if somebody gets past that, I can actually lay down when I see them enter the doorway and shoot their feet. So there's kind of like a halfway mark inside of the CCTV where the first half is protected by the first layer of Mira and then the second half is protected by the second layer of Mira. Not just that, but you can also watch the drop down exactly like what we saw in the Pro League clip, and that guy's feet got completely annihilated. And you guys can see here, putting yourselves in the attacking position, it's a very intimidating spot and hard to close in on.
Every single time. They're going to run a castle for the second round in a row. They forewent the castle downstairs, which is a smart idea. It's not always often that you'll see a castle be run when you're going down to CCTV.
Now from this angle, you guys can just straight up chuck out a camera anywhere out there and it'll generally be pretty good. I'm going to show you 2 exact locations on where to aim though if you guys want to be 100% precision accuracy daddies. So when you open up this window, you guys will see 2 palm trees. The one I'm looking at is on the left and it is a huge bushy one when you guys look up. From there, I'm aiming to throw the camera on top of the actual tree stem. From there, it's going to be super high up. You'll have a ton of vision. The second one, I'm just going to go a little bit right of the palm tree. And from here, it's going to land on the south side of the newsstand. You guys can see that the palm tree camera is very high up and it blends in so well with the actual tree itself. Now, because the second cam is landing on the south side of the newsstand, it would make more sense if this camera was thrown from one of these 4 windows on the north side of bank. But from the attacker's point of view, those 4 windows are intact, so it's going to be unexpected that the camera is all the way on the side over here. I would think that it'd be more outside of the opened window. Now we're going to take a couple of these outside camera ideas and put it together an insane combination for this next trick.
At the same time though, maybe it's that they're focusing too much on that. They're getting distracted as to the other prongs of SK's attack, but they just haven't seemed to have any chance of winning any of these rounds. Laxing will take out Jarvis with a run out. So we've seen this a number of times before, and he's expecting the pre-fire, but Mark well coordinated for Cloud9 on the window in CEO, expecting the push from SK, and that's a 2-man advantage almost for free because of a well-conducted play from Cloud9. I love the coordination here. That was a pre-established strategy from Cloud9, and you really got to love those little tricks that can be brought out to give your team an edge.
So you and one of your very brave friends are going to be going on an insane jump out and hold outside. Now, even if you die, most of the time you're going to be draining so much time down on the clock, and it's going to be a complete round changer. So from the camera, they saw that there was only 1 attacker outside. That made for a very easy window jump out, even though you take damage. Now from here, generally they're only going to be coming from this west location around the main entrance. If somebody's on top of the roof and decides to rappel over, you're gonna not only hear that, but they're not gonna have the animation and the gun option to shoot you as they're coming over the edge. They'd be pretty much giving you a free kill. So that's not what they're gonna wanna do. The best thing for them to do is try to pinch you around the main entrance lobby, and that's when you're gonna have your friend poke out one of these windows and hold an angle so that when they come around the corner, they're pretty much gonna pre-fire you because they'll see your outline for being detected outside. But before they do that, your friend's gonna be there backing you up, and you guys are gonna annoy the crap out of the attacking team by doing this jump out combination.
Which I think is pretty important for them. As I said before, when you band out the Valkyrie,
they're setting themselves up properly to deal with that. I like the shield that's been going onto the main stairs from Cloud9. It's always tripped up SK. Like, they've always pushed these main stairs, isolated the main stairs, eaten a Lesion trap every single time they take a goo mine to the foot of the mountain, and then they just push elsewhere. So that's actually been, I think, a good thing for Cloud9, that they've been able to slow down the push, if nothing else.
Now this Lesion setup is here yet again to just annoy the crap out of the other team. This completely shuts down Montaigne like we saw multiple times. Now from here, there's not really any benefit from vaulting over the railing. In fact, if you do that, you're even closer to the person holding the angle on the bottom of the stairs. It'd probably give them even an easier shot. So unless they use utility and break this shield anybody that vaults over gives you a guaranteed trap. Then they're going to be trapped behind the shield. It's going to give you a very nice time to push. And if you guys watch this game between Cloud9 and SK Gaming, you guys would see how much this works. Even if they don't get a kill from it, it still affects the game and delays time.
Regardless, the asphyxiating bolt going to be useful here to try and dislodge the Mira. But Jarvis will actually go down early. Nice C4 from Fox through the drop down. And that's going to be a lot of utility that was supposed to come out just now that will not happen.
Now, we saw a C4 thrown up and it took somebody out up an open area, but what I wanted to show you guys was how you can get a perfect nitro cell all the way from the bottom up through the hatch and to land perfectly on all of the people that like to crowd around the hatch inside of admin office. The next time there's a bunch of people crowding around this hatch, this is one of those nitro cells that can get you a multi-kill with just a one nitro cell very easily.
Need to happen from time to time for people whose games crash, computers crash, internet crash, active gods, period. But ultimately, the biggest issue.
Now, by just glancing at this camera, you might think it's just simply thrown right on top of the monitors, on top of the wall right here. And this camera is alright, but it is not good enough for the Bra family. So we're going to get that crap out of there. And what you need to do is actually jump down and look up. There's a crack all the way around the edging. And this spot pretty much makes it invisible, while for some reason you actually get a better view. I'll show you guys the comparison right here. You guys can see all the way to the server room door that enters CCTV, as well as that wall that always gets thermited where people like to plant the bomb. So this camera is literally the best camera, maybe even the best camera on bank, because it is completely invisible. In order to see it, you literally have to go directly underneath of it, and if an attacker pushes all the way in there, they're gonna die anyways.
Played site here on bank, though CEO has seen quite a spike as of late. And honestly, I'm gonna say, I'm a little surprised that we don't see SK going upstairs to CEO.
Now, it is hard to put a camera spot in following that CCTV room cam, but this one over here on Banana is very good because the camera blends in with the trim of these support poles. Now, just looking at it, you probably didn't even see that camera, but here I'll show you guys where I throw it. This camera has great coverage. It can really complement that lobby camera after it gets taken out. And you guys can see here that even when I go to the bottom of the staircase in lobby, this camera can still see like half of it if somebody's going underneath of it. I'm also going to throw in a bonus tip right here. Don't ever actually look and focus in on this picture because you'll probably have nightmares.
For an angle, trying to find his opponent, but he doesn't check the default one of the flank hold, and Laxing will get the kill. Cloud9 take another round. That's 2 in a row.
4 kills for Laxing and 4 rounds for C9, and they have looked so fierce.
Now, this one right here is kind of more of a did you know? And did you guys know that the bulletproof camera is actually not bulletproof? If you guys can get around behind it and shoot a little bit behind on the lip, you guys can actually take it out with a simple shot. Now, this is a tip for when you place the camera. It doesn't even have to be hanging over the edge. You guys can see that if you put it next to any doorway, when I drop down and look at it, you can still see part of the middle of the back. So you got to make sure that you place your bulletproof cameras in more secure locations where nobody can actually stand directly on the side of it. Otherwise, say if somebody just dropped down an elevator hatch, then he'd be able to just simply take it out. I know you can just melee it, but just overall keep this in mind the next time you place a bulletproof camera, because the worst thing that could happen is your camera gets taken out from a distance. Anyways, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I spent a ton of time on it, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something new that you and your friends can start to implement today to get on the top of your game and rank up. I'll see you guys all very soon in the next video. I love you all. Peace.